Okay, so today is going to be the fitting of the rear curtains in the back of the van. For this, you're going to need a 2.5mm drill bit and a drill. Can be cordless, can be mains electric, a marker pen and a screwdriver. Can be a screwdriver end for the drill or a hand screwdriver with a PZ1 screwdriver bit. Ideally, not essential though. Got the fitting instructions, I've got the curtains and I've got the hardware. I decided to purchase these off Campervan Parts UK. Now, if I'm honest, the curtain market, the blind market for campervans is a minefield. There is so much choice. I asked on a couple of forums what people recommended and I got bombarded with opinions, ideas, links, companies. It is horrendous. Honestly, it is horrendous. I'm hoping this video will help you out to decide. For myself, I originally wanted to go as cheap as possible. I wanted the cheapest curtains I physically could get. Why? Because I just couldn't see the value in spending too much money on the curtains for the back. However, having spoken to probably 5 or 6 different people who bought the cheaper curtains, they all said that if they ever built another van, they would definitely invest more money in a higher quality curtain because they really regretted the cheaper stuff. So, learning from their mistakes, I redid a bit of research, checked a few companies out, and I made a decision to go with Campervan Parts UK. Obviously, I've put their links to their website in the description box below. I can recommend them, however, wait till the end of the video because I've only bought them off them yet at the moment. I haven't fitted them, so this is going to be a fitting video, but also kind of a review on how they fit, how I feel about them, and at the end I will explain whether I would recommend. World's biggest moth. There's a moth there as well. At the end I will say if I recommend you to buy them from them also or to go elsewhere. So let's get into the video. So when they arrive, they come well packaged and labelled for which window it is. Obviously for myself, I have had to buy the 2 rear barn doors and the 4 glass, 1 sliding door, 2 rears and 1 opposite sliding door. You won't have to if you haven't got all those things fitted, obviously. But when open, you get inside, you'll get the fitting instructions, which I've never fitted these before, I've never looked at these before, so this is all new to me. It starts with the tools you require that we've already gone through, and then 1, 2, 3, 5 steps. So anything that's only got 5 steps must be super simple. A little bit doubtful it's going to be that easy, but we will see because we're going to be doing it now. Get a bag of hardware. You get the 2 curtains themselves and the 2 rails, obviously per window. So looking at these rails, they are different in length and shape. So which one is okay? Yeah, so yeah, awesome. So they have stickers on the back. I'm not sure if you'll see that. Basically, with a little picture on of which window it is, even though the bag is labelled, just as a secondary confirmation, confirm which window it is that you're fitting these to, which is this one, and they've got a T and a B on, so top and bottom. So with that said, we'll start with the bottom rail. Now these, I'm going to be fitting them all the way up to the panel, like as far close in as they physically will go. So that will go that way. The reason for that is I want the curtains to be hugging the glass as much as possible to black it out and to make the better coverage, the best coverage possible. Sorry guys, I know I'm going on, but just bear with it. As I mentioned, it is a minefield as to which route you go down. I went down the curtain route. I didn't want to go down the blind route. I do like the blinds, and there is a lot of companies that sell really nice curtains or really nice blinds. However, I feel that when you are bolting another ply panel or screwing another ply panel to this to cover the edges and then having pull down blinds, whether it be IKEA style or a bought set from a company, that's great, they look great, but a bit like taking mirrors out of your house. I feel that flattening this area off with more ply, first of all, it adds more weight, which this build for me is all about saving weight and minimising on expense, but also minimising on weight. So it is adding weight. Also, you are making the van feel slightly smaller inside because you're sucking out a bit of depth from the windows, and it will make it feel slightly tighter and slightly more, not crammed, but a slightly smaller van inside, because this little bit here does make a little difference. So looking at this now, that fit seems to fit really nice. There's no shaping. These have come already shaped. I know some come with tools to bend them, or you've got to bend them on your knee, etc., or mandrel bend them, things like that. These have already come with the shaping. These are black. They're very lightweight. They're very nicely made. There's a nice groove in them. Getting the instructions out. Number 1, drill all curtain rail screw holes. Okay, so basically we've got to move on to the drilling. So I'm going to try my best to hold it up, squash it into the corner. It fits the body really nicely out of the box, so you don't really need to worry about fitting it wrong, because it kind of will only sit in one place in a sense. So get it in position, nicely up the corner. So we've drilled that hole. All of the screws look the same length, so there's not different ones for different parts. Try and find our hole. So here, first mistake, I recommend getting everything in place so that once you drill it, you can then put a screw straight in. You've got the screwdriver set up, because I've lost the hole, because the carpet is kind of like sucked around the hole now. Yeah, so learning from that, I am going to get everything in place. So I'm going to get the next screw on the end. This is a magnetic screwdriver. As I've mentioned, you can do it with a drill. However, myself personally, I prefer to just lightly pull things in by hand, because I can feel whether the screw's starting to turn on itself or not grip anymore. Little things like that, rather than, I tend to be a little bit heavy-handed with a cordless drill. So that's one in. So we'll get the next one in now, to the right. In fact, no, we'll go a quarter of a left. So you don't need to be drilling super fast. You don't want to be slipping and ramming the chuck into the new rail or your window. So you can, I have mentioned this tip before, you can put some tape around here at the desired depth that you need, so that when, if you do slip and go in, you don't ram the chuck, you stop at the tape, or a bit of hose or something. However, I'm being super careful. I'm drilling super slowly, in control, I'd like to think. Having said that, I shouldn't be ramming anything anywhere. No pun intended. Doing this, I'm keeping the pressure on the rail with my left hand, keeping it onto the metalwork as flat as possible. And then on the head of the screw, I'm putting down pressure as well as I'm screwing it in. Yeah, and those two I've pulled up tight. That's good. So I'll do the end two now. No talking on that. And I'll get those in. One thing, yet again, I know I keep talking, but I like to try and add value and information where I see fit. One thing I have noticed since I've done the carpeting, whenever you drill from now on through the carpet, you get like the carpet wrap around the drill piece. So each time you do it, I'll recommend just unraveling a little bit of carpet, tightening these screws up. Just as I mentioned, just nip them. If you put too much pressure on them, you probably will make them spin. I haven't had any spin, but you don't need to be heavy-handed. There's no load bearing on this. This is just a guide rail for the curtains to slide into. So I'll go ahead, get the top one in, because I'm really looking forward to this. This is going to be a bit of a game changer for the inside of here. It's going to slowly turn it, in my opinion, from a carpeted van into more of a homely feel, more of an inviting kind of presence of, yeah, let's go out and actually live in that or sleep in that for a weekend, a week, a day, whatever it may be. So I'll get the top one in now, and yeah, look at that. Fits perfect. And if you look at that edge there finishes with the window seal to the top, to the edge. Fits really nice. So thoughts so far, they come well well shaped, well sized, out of the packaging, ready, literally ready to fit. So that's the most difficult one at the top, because you're having to hold the rail with one hand and drill with a secondary hand. So you're kind of at a loose end, but when you've got the one in, you can now do it and apply pressure to the rear of the drill. Yet again, not much, you're drilling through thin sheet metal. To be honest, if you haven't got a 2.5mm drill bit, don't go 3mm, that's too big. But if you've got a 2mm drill bit, my opinion, I could be wrong, but I feel that a 2mm drill bit would work just as good. It would actually be a little bit tighter to get these in, but don't go rushing out and buy a 2.5 if you haven't got one. Just use a 2 if you already have one and try it, see how you get on. But I feel that that would work perfectly fine. Okay, so let's move on to number 2, which is insert screws into curtain. Yeah, so we've jumped ahead, we've already done that. So we're on to 3. Thread curtain sliders onto rails. Okay, so we've got the curtains here. Quick opinion of the curtains. I didn't really know what to expect, but the actual material, the fabric, feels really nice. It doesn't feel cheap at all in any way, shape or form. It actually feels a nice, classy. I don't know what the material is, I probably should. The worst review in the world. Yeah, I don't know. I just ordered blackout curtains and I chose these guys to get them from. So, apologies for that. Yet again, like I said, really nice material. They've got their logo stamped on the inside, which is a nice touch. Little clips in for the runners, so that is obviously quite easy to work out the top and the bottom. And then the Prested side with the Presteds on, is that the right word? The extra material on to roll them up into would go on the side that's going to clip it against. So I'm going to fit them with the nicer side facing in, which means the tag will be facing out, but only when they're open, because when they're rolled up you wouldn't see it. And in fact you probably wouldn't see it anyway. So you can obviously see the shape of the rail itself inside this lipped part of the curtain. There is these, and they obviously push in to that rail and then slide along top and bottom. So this is a little bit fiddly, bear with it, don't be impatient. Today is the hottest day ever in the UK. It is red hot. So I am in, basically I feel like I'm in a sauna. So excuse if I'm sweating, that's just the way it is. So first impressions of these, they fit in really well. Take your time to not miss one, which I haven't. But I just thought, God, they're quite short actually. And you're kind of having to stretch them into the bottom rail. As you can see the distance there, look. Which I actually really like, because the tighter they are, the flatter they will be, the nicer they will sit, and keep out more daylight easier, because these are blackout curtains, don't forget, and they will give you more privacy. So I really like that. Let's try and move you to a little bit better of position to see. Is that any better? So try and bring you a little bit closer. Please bear with the light. Obviously I've come in the shade so the sunlight doesn't ruin the shot. However, it's quite dark now. I'm in black curtains, grey carpet. It's generally quite difficult. I haven't got a secondary light with me, so just bear with it. So now, number 3, thread curtains into sliders, we've done that. Number 4, insert end caps and secure by drilling holes and inserting screws. But you can also see they're tapered and shaped, so you need to make sure you've got the correct end cap on. So first thing you can do to pinpoint which way they go is, you've got, if it's flat like that, then that faces onto the carpet. You want the face where you kind of countersunk in for the screw to sit inside will face up. So that's the first identification you can do. And the second one, if you look at the taper will go towards you. So that one will be a top one. Okay, so I've got all the screws in. I've got the end caps in and screwed down. So now with this part of the build, we need to fit the Presteds, I think that's the right word, to the body here. Bear in mind, underneath here there is 3 cutouts, like from the factory that got taped over before I carpeted, so you want to make sure you don't go through those. You want to pull the edge of the carpet up to where you need to be. This is where you'll need your marker pen. You want to pull the press stud over to where it should go naturally. You then want to confirm that it's not on the actual indent on the body. We got metal there, so you want to go there. Put your press stud right in the corner, is how I'm doing it, and then with your black pen, mark the hole. You can do it pretty much wherever you want. Yet again, I'm doing it right in the corner, personal choice. Then drilling through the hole. Good thing about a magnetic screwdriver is you can go around and pick all the excess metal filings and stuff from drilling through the body off with the magnet. So put the screw through the press stud, find the hole you've just drilled, screw it in the same as you screwed the rails. Yet again, it doesn't need gorilla strength. So this is what it looks like when it's done. The two press studs will hold the edge in there. And then now, when you roll this back, you push it all back like that until it's bunched up, and you can either leave it like that or you can have it like that. Or yet again, you can leave the press studs connected and have it like that. Difficult one-handed. Me personally, I'm just going to keep it like that. I think it looks nice, I think it fits well, and I'm pretty happy with that, to be honest. Now, it might just be the way I did it, but I want to be honest. I want to tell you guys exactly what I've experienced. This side, I had to actually loosen the rail back off, so because I'd screwed it down and tightened them up, because these end caps are such a perfect fit, and because of the body contour, the shape here, you're having to kind of push them in at an angle to then fit them in. I couldn't get them in. So what I had to do was I had to loosen the screws up to allow that to tip up a bit so I could get them in flat. Like I said, because they fit so well, they need to be pushed in straight. Now, you might not encounter that. That was just what I encountered. It wasn't a big deal. I just had to loosen the rail a little bit off to give me a couple of mil play to get them back in. And then I drilled the hole, pushed them in, drilled the two holes, that side, and then tightened them all back up. This side I got in without loosening it off. They're at more of a steeper angle, so you can get flat onto them. However, just one tip to learn from me, I'd probably say, what I'll do now is, the next one I do, I'll drill all the holes, get the screws in, but I won't tighten the screws up. I'll make sure I get all of them in before I go round, and then I'll tighten all the screws up when all the curtains are in and all the caps are on. So now I'm putting these in, as I've mentioned. I'm going to get all the screws in, but only halfway. So then I can slide the curtains in and then put the end caps on, drill those through, and then tighten them all up in one. I might not need to on these because there is a good amount of area to get into there. However, that's just how I'm going to do it. It just seems to be a little bit easier for me, but you will find your own way when doing these. I'm not saying this is the best way. All I'm showing you is this is how I'm doing it. So feel free to have an opinion and move left or right from my process. So this one, you can see the amount of just a little bit of slack is all you need to get these in a little bit easier. Yet again, not a must, just to make it a little bit easier. This time I'm doing it different. I've put the curtain in the top, all of the top. I've moved it out the way. I'm going to put the end cap in so that now when I pull it down and clip it onto the bottom rail, it won't be pulling out. I know there's a lot of talking, but if you've got value from this video, or if it's helped you in any way and you don't mind, please subscribe. It helps me out a lot and it shows me what content you guys like, enjoy and get value from. So I'm not going to bother doing that one on camera. I was going to time lapse it, but honestly it's that hot today that camera keeps cutting out because it's overheating. So I'm just going to show you these two. This is the same, so you don't really need to see it. The sliding door is slightly different because you've got this here. I haven't done that yet, so apologies for that. But there is a video coming soon because I'm going to take the sliding door off to carpet it. And I'm going to be showing you how to turn your standard ply board or your ply panel into a pocketed, nice kind of door card storage space panel. So that is up and coming. That is a video coming soon. And I haven't done the back barn doors. They will be a separate video because I still have those to carpet, which yet again is a separate video. But this is a quick look at the finished product on these two. Clipped in there. Fit really nice. Slide really well. Don't catch on anything. Like I said, you can hold these back like that if you like, but because it also pulls it away from that part of the body and has a gap there, I just naturally prefer them pushed all the way back like that. You do lose some of your window, but that is perfectly fine. I don't mind that. So I'm not sure if you'll see it, but those are like a brass, and those are like a silver. And to be honest, I'm actually going to... The top ones aren't too bad because you can't see them, but because your line of eyesight is down at these two, I'm going to leave the curtains like that so you can't see the other two, the M ones. But I'm going to change these two to black because I think for such a small like a small change, those being black would make such a difference. Okay, so they're in. Obviously, as I mentioned, I haven't put them all in because it is absolutely red hot today, and this sauna is overheating the camera. But my honest opinion on these is general points, general review, absolutely brilliant. I really think that they work really well. I really like the materials. I think they're super easy to fit. They're all black, which is exactly what I wanted. The only negative I have is the hardware being one set of screws on one window and the rest are different. That's the only negative. It's a very, very small point. However, if I was to build another van, I would buy the exact same curtains again. So it is not a showstopper. It is a very, 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 very fussy point, and most people will never ever notice just because I've fitted them and I'm a little bit fussy. That's the only negative I have. So like I said, overall I'm really happy. They're better than the cheap ones and they fit my build, my personality, my van perfect. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.